Hello everybody, Maven here, and the Adept Palindrome is finally back, dropping from the Grandmaster Nightfall this week, so do yourself a favor, do not miss out, get a solid group together on LFG and get some runs in. Whether you're a PvE or PvP player, this is a weapon you're going to want in your arsenal. It's no longer a void weapon, they updated it to Arc and gave it a very interesting perk pool, and today I'll be breaking down its possible roles and give you my thoughts on the god roles you should chase after. So let's get to it, hope you enjoy. Shout out to our sponsor, Advanced GG, the #1 gaming supplement in the world. Use code MAVEN at checkout for 10% off. Link down below. Thank you. So before we break down the Palindrome's perks, I first want to turn your attention to its parts, because my biggest fear for this thing came true, and I totally called it in a video I posted before episode Heresy came out. Bungie actually did it, those sneaky badgers. So for those who don't know what I'm going off about, over the years Bungie has done this thing where they quote unquote balance Destiny 2. They have done it in many subtle ways, such as lowering Slug Shotgun's aim assist and taking tap the trigger off of semi-auto weapons. And one such subtle balance they slowly but surely implemented was taking ricochet rounds off of hand cannons, because apparently ricochet rounds turns a hand cannon into a stat monster and makes it unfair. But what's so wrong with making the Palindrome a stat monster? It's one of the most iconic legendary hand cannons in the entire Destiny franchise, and in my opinion, it deserves it. But anyways, I digress. At least its perk pool has something to give it somewhat of a redeeming factor. So let's take a look. In the left column, you got Closing Time, Recycle Energy, Outlaw, To the Pain, Elemental Capacitor, Explosive Payload, and in the right column, you got Magnificent Hell, Snapshot Sights, Rolling Storm, Desperate Measures, Master of Arms, and Opening Shot. Now there's a lot to talk about when it comes to PvP, so let's just knock PvE out of the way real quick, because there's one very obvious god role in my opinion, and we can get straight to the point. So the PvE god roll is going to be Explosive Payload with Rolling Storm. Explosive Payload is a no-brainer, gives you that pseudo-infinite range because the explosive half of your damage has no fall-off. It gives you more knockback and add clear potential. Plus, for those who didn't know, it's also just a static damage buff that is there by default. It just straight up gives you 15% more body shot damage and 10% more crit damage overall. So Explosive Payload is 100% the way to go. And Rolling Storm is a new perk, where Final Blows grant you a stack of bolt charge, but you get 2 stacks of bolt charge if you're amplified, and likely on any arc build you can conjure up, you're pretty much going to be amplified at all times pretty easily. Pair that along with Spark Frequency that gives you an additional bolt charge whenever any instance gives you bolt charge, and this pally roll of Explosive Payload Rolling Storm is just generating a ridiculous amount of bolt charge. So it's highly likely that this is going to be the single best Rolling Storm primary for the foreseeable future. It's going to be really hard to top this. So if you love arc, or you consider yourself a build crafter in any way, shape, or form, then you're going to want this Palindrome roll. This is 100% a must-have roll. Now let's talk about PvP. Now I'm not going to waste your time, so I'm going to let you know right now, if you are an M&K player, then do not waste your time grinding for this thing. Just stick with the new Exalted Truth, it's just strictly better for you. So M&K players, if you want to stick around for the rest of the video, I greatly appreciate it. But if you leave now, I don't blame you, and thank you so much for watching. Now controller players, this one's for you. Controller players, listen up. This, in my opinion, is the best controller hand cannon in the game. Now for PvP hand cannons, when it comes to stats, reload speed does not matter, and this next one may be subjective, but I believe handling does not matter too much on adaptive frames, since by default they are plenty fast enough. And on M&K, range is the single most important stat, because typically it's easy enough to control stability on M&K, but it is still somewhat important to have at least some stability. But on controller, this may be a hot take or a skill issue, take your pick, but I believe stability is the most important stat on a PvP hand cannon for a controller. Now yes, you want a balance because you don't want to skimp out on all that range, it's still very important, but there's a very limited amount of hand cannons in this game that allow you to have a solid balance of both range and stability. And TLDR, the Palindrome has the highest balance of range and stability we have ever seen on an adaptive hand cannon. Stability matters matters a lot on controller. I cannot emphasize that enough. Gaining, like, for example, 10 extra stability on M and K makes little to no difference, but on controller, plus 10 stability makes a massive difference, and specifically on semi-auto weapons, and especially more so on hand cannons over every other weapon type. Hand cannons by far benefit from stability the most. A little extra stability goes a long way. Now let's compare base stats versus god rolls on just a handful of adaptive hand cannons I opened up on D2 Foundry. So with the Palindrome's base stats, we have a base range of 50 and a base stability of 58. With the Exalted Truth, we also have a base of 50 and 58. With the Fatebringer, we have 46 and 57. With the Rose, we have 43 and 45, but we do have stock options. And then with the Austringer, we have 46 and 59. With the Crisis Inverted, we have 40 and then 70 because the Omlon Fluid Dynamics by default is giving us plus 20 stability for free. And then Ias Luna is the highest at base with 51 and 64. Now let's take a look at all these hand cannons again, except with their god rolls. And this time we're going in reverse order. So with the Ias Luna god roll, we have a range of 66 and stability of 94. With the Crisis Inverted god roll, we get 65 and 100. With the Austringer, we get 74 and 92. With the Rose, we get 76 and 93. With the Fatebringer, we get 84 and 80. With the Exalted Truth, we get 88 and 81. And finally, with the Palindrome, we get 83 and 99. An absolute stat monster. And the reason for that is because of the perk Elemental Capacitor, a controller player's best friend in PvP. When you have a Void Super equipped, Elemental Capacitor gives you plus 20 stability or 25 if enhanced. Pair that along with the new Ballistics mod and the extra 3 stats from it being adept, and the fact that this thing already has above average base stats, and the result is the highest balance of range and stability we ever had on an adaptive hand cannon. Now, unless you're an Arc Titan, Solar Warlock, or Strand Hunter, it's highly likely that you probably have a Void Super equipped on your build already on either Prismatic or Void itself, so this applies to most PvP builds. But if you main a subclass that doesn't have a Void Super, and you don't have a 5 out of 5 Exalted Truth or Fatebringer, then I would highly recommend the Austringer, because it's craftable with extremely good stats when you enhance Eye of the Storm and Zen Moment. But anyways, if you want to see my full god roll, it's small bore accurized rounds with the range masterwork and elemental capacitor with Master of Arms. Now you can run opening shot or mag howl if you want, but Master of Arms does give this weapon a decent deal of forgiveness. Whenever you get a final blow with any weapon, including the Palindrome itself, you get a 15% damage buff for 8 seconds, which allows you to kill any resilience in 2 crits and 1 body, and it also shaves off 1 shot away from the optimal body shot TTK. So it's kind of like the dollar store version of Memento Mori. But anyways, this weapon is a controller player's dream come true. It's going to be extremely hard to get this exact 5 out of 5, but best believe I'm going to be grinding until my corneas are burned to a crisp. So that's it for this video. I have to go farm, and you probably do too, so good luck with that. And thank you so much for watching. I hope this god roll guide has helped you out. If it did, then maybe you can help me out in return by simply hitting the like button. Feel free to let me know in the comments if I may have missed your personal god roll. And M&K players, if you stuck around to the end of the video, you're a legend. Thank you so much. And for those who are new here, it'd really mean a lot if you stick around for more and hit that subscribe button. And remember to check out our sponsor, Advanced GG, code MAVEN at checkout for 10% off your order, link down below. And with that, I will catch you in the next video. See you later.